on a Thursday night at 10 o'clock. That's fantastic. Glad to be here. Glad to be anywhere right now. I gotta let you know, 2 years ago this very day, I was given a life-saving operation. I had a kidney transplant, had a change of life that happened 2 years ago today, and I'm really just glad to be anywhere. Now, yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. I'll take him anywhere I can get him. Fuck that. Right? And it was a total surprise to me. I say that in retrospect, but actually 20 years earlier, I was told that I was a diabetic. But me, thinking I'm fucking invincible, didn't pay attention to shit. And the way I found out I was a diabetic was I didn't go to a doctor and have a simple blood test. I'll tell you, it all involves one of the haunted places in the country, the Lizzie Borden House, which is down in Fall River, Massachusetts. Anyone ever been to Lizzie Borden House in Fall River, Massachusetts? One person? Yeah, that's a big fucking dump. No one really likes it. But my buddy at the time owned the Lizzie Borden House bed and breakfast, and he'd bring in fortune tellers and seances. And my friend Steph happened to say to me one night, "Hey, my boyfriend and I booked a room at the Lizzie Borden House bed and breakfast." Now, I love a really good fucking prank. And my buddy happens to own the Lizzie Borden House bed and breakfast. And I said, what if he lets me in their room while they're not there and I can pull off one of the biggest practical jokes ever? Of course, I asked Don, and Don said, absolutely fucking not. I can get sued for something like that. Through some clever manipulation that I can tend to do sometimes, I work my way into the room. Now, I got my video camera set up in the corner of the room. And I get under the bed, and there I am, waiting. And I see 2 pairs of feet come in the room. They had just had tea. They were gonna relax before they went down to enjoy the evening's entertainment. And there I am, under the bed. There's my camera, going in the corner of the room. And I hear Steph's boyfriend say to her, "Hey, how about we go down there and catch that seance?" To which I hear my friend Steph say, "How about you come over here and eat this pussy?" Now there I am under the fucking bed. My video camera's going in the fucking corner. My friend Stephanie's asking her boyfriend to eat her pussy, and I threw up under the bed, to which I see 4 little feet scurry and scream away down the stairs. Now there I am, laying in a pool of my own fucking sick. Passed out under a bed, under a Victorian 4-post bed, and I hear this. Here comes the Fall River Fire Department, having to pull a fat kid out from under a bed and bring him to the hospital. That's how I learned I had diabetes. And of course, I wasn't med compliant. They give you all sorts of medications to take, but I'm invincible, so I wasn't taking medication. And the first indication there was something wrong with me was that my eyesight started going a little bit, right? Started to get little hints of gray dots and black dots in my vision. I said, okay, something's wrong here. Maybe I should do something about this, but I didn't. What really cemented it for me is upstairs from my husband and I, we had a neighbor who had a little Lhasa Apso dog. And one night I saw the dog playing on the stairs outside like he always does. My husband comes home, looks at me playing with the dog and says, "What the fuck are you doing?" So I'm playing with Teddy. He said, "Michael, that's a fucking raccoon. Get the fuck up off the stairs." It's the nicest fucking raccoon I ever saw in my life. So off I go to the eye surgeon. This eye surgeon says, "We're gonna put this injection in this eye and this injection in this eye." I said, "You're gonna fucking what?" "Yeah, we're gonna shoot a needle into your eyes." They do that a few times. It's everything you wished it could be. Then they decide I'm gonna have to have some eye surgery. Anyone ever experienced eye surgery before? Right. So I went home and I made the mistake of looking this fucking thing up on YouTube. Don't ever look that shit up on YouTube. It's one of the worst experiences. You know what? The doctor says to me, "First, we're gonna take your your eyeball out. And we're gonna play, that's what I said. We're gonna put that on your cheek. You're gonna put it on my cheek? We're gonna put that on your cheek. And by the way, we use light sedation during this, so you shouldn't feel anything. I said, light sedation? The fuck you are. I want to be out for that. So no, light sedation it was. And I actually watched my vision turn to the right. I did. Now I'm wiggling, and I hear the doctor say, he shouldn't be moving for this. I said, more fucking sedation, asshole. And they did. They sedated me, and all of a sudden, there I was. Now I'm med compliant. I don't want this shit anymore. I'm taking the insulin. I'm taking the pills. I'm doing all sorts of shit. I think I'm doing great, right? You'd never know by looking at me. I was 310 pounds. Right? Now I'm on this medication. I think I'm doing great. The weight is just pouring off of me. I'm down to 170 pounds. I think I'm great. Now, it has to be the medication, right? Because I'm still ordering DoorDash 4 times a day. Yeah, you fucking do it too. Don't tell me you don't. I spent $35 for a cold brew and a breakfast sandwich from Dunkin' Donuts this morning. Don't tell me you don't do it. We all fucking do it. And one night, I go out and I'm shoveling snow and I come back in and I said, well, that just doesn't look right. I look at my ankle. My ankle looks like a softball. I said, it doesn't hurt, but there's obviously something wrong. I think I need to go see somebody about this. So off I go to the ER. I go to the ER. I said, look at this ankle. She said, you sprained your ankle. I said, this doesn't hurt. She said, that doesn't hurt. I said, no, that doesn't hurt at all. She said, there is something wrong. So automatically I'm brought to a room. Now I'm a rooming in a hospital. Nobody's told me shit about what's going on. I actually called the front desk. My husband's name is on my medical chart. I said, my name is Travis. I am Michael's husband. Can you tell me what's going on with him? And they said, he is admitted. I'm admitted. 4 hours later, a doctor walks in. He's got a folder. He says, Mr. Johnson, you need a kidney transplant. Someone will be in. That's all I was told. Someone will be in. So then you go through all the testing, years of testing. Luckily, one of my best friends for 22 years was an unprecedented 6-point match. Perfect match, yeah. First person to be tested, perfect match, 1 in 3.5 million chance that we would be a perfect match. Better match than DNA family. It was fantastic. So we get to the day, they wheel you in, you have the surgery and you wake up in this haze because they give you this pain pump. You ever have Dilaudid? Yeah, Dilaudid's good shit, right? It's 10 times stronger than morphine. It's absolutely fantastic. So you wake up, you're connected to tubes and shit, and you got this little pain pump. Now what I've learned in the ICU, there are 2 types of nurses. There are timid young white girls, and there are old lifer black ladies. Both of them are scary in their own way. At first, there was a timid white girl. And she said, oh, you've only pushed your pain pump 15 times today. I said, how many times can I push this? She said, every 3 minutes. All right, that's what you tell me. Then I see the shift change, and in comes Donna. Now, Donna was about 5'1", and Donna was just as round as she was tall. And Donna was 65 years old and 3.5 weeks away from retirement. And Donna walked into my room and she said, it's time for you to get up and walk to the door and back. I said, the fuck we are, Donna. Because they give you 100 milligrams of steroids every 8 hours. Steroids turned me into a fucking demon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm an awful man. And you know what Donna said to me? She tapped on what I learned later was a catheter in my prick. She said, I'm gonna keep tapping on this tube in your prick till you feel like jolly old St. Nick was climbing up your chimney, or you are gonna get up and walk to the door and back. Motherfucker, I walked. I walked to the door and back. So I was an asshole to them. It was awful. Finally, I get put in a room. Now I'm ordering people around. Move that bed to this room, move that bed to that room, put the Golden Girls on the fucking television right now. Finally, a CNA walks in, he said, look, pal, you and I are gonna have to learn to get along if we're gonna get through the next day. You like titties? I said, wrong person, boss! That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I'm Mike.